It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
West guys, 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 West guys. These guys know sports. Yeah. These guys know sports. These guys know.
And welcome to Wise Guys. These guys know sports on this Friday, August the 21st, on the Worldwide Sports Network. Remember, go follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. I'm here live with my co-host, Mr. Clarence Nixon. What's up, Mr. Nixon?
First of all, Trey, I want to say happy Friday to you because I know it's been a tough week and a busy week. So happy Friday with you, brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. How was your Friday treating you so far?
I finally got a day off of work. I'm so happy about that. And I just want to, I'm feel excited. I just want to get some relaxation, enjoy my Friday, enjoy this off day until I go back. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, baby?
Yeah, I definitely understand that. We got an action jam-packed show ahead for all our viewers out there. We're going to talk about Houston Rockets taking a commanding 2-0 lead on OKC. Also, later on the show, we're going to talk about Luka Doncic and the Mavericks evening up their series against the Clippers. We got game 3 of that series tonight at 9 o'clock following our show. I think right now, Clarence, the Sixers and the Celtics are playing right now. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if we got a score update, but I think they're playing right now.
I'll definitely give you a score update. But hold on a second. Did you just see that Jazz and Nuggets game? Oh, man, they was beating them out the gym.
Oh, the Jazz won by 40, didn't they?
The what? They won by 40 now? Oh, my God. But Mike Conley, hit like 6 threes. I'm like, oh, he going crazy.
Yeah, he definitely went crazy. He did.
Boston is up 53-49 in the third quarter.
53-49 over the Philadelphia 76ers and Joel Embiid. So we got an action jam-packed show ahead. So many things we're going to get into. Also, we're going to talk about expectations for Joe Burrow's Bengals. Clarence, I don't know if you got a chance to see today, the Bengals released pictures of Joe Burrow in his Cincinnati Bengals jersey. Like, I don't know. Did you see that?
Oh, did I see that? Well, I got notifications when they dropped that uniform. I'm actually arguing with some people right now because they saying, oh, man, he should not be wearing Carson Palmer now. I'm like, he's going to be better than Carson. I guarantee you that right there. But think I ain't see that? Man, I've been watching film. Oh, I'm just saving for the topic, man. I don't want to ruin my surprises.
Okay. What we starting off with today, Mr. Nixon? I'm going to let you lead. What we starting off with?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because first of all, we finna start off in the NBA playoffs, game 2, baby. As you see, the LA Lakers defeated the Portland Trail Blazers in a blowout, Mr. Larkins, 111-88. The series is tied at 1-1. Anthony Davis led the pack with 31 points with 11 rebounds, and LeBron James had 10 points. That was the second worst of his career. The second worst of the point with 6 rebounds and 7 assists, followed by Damian Lillard at 18 points, and he left the game. Mr. Larkins, he left the game with a left jam index finger. So Trey, what went wrong in game 2? The floor is yours, brother. What went wrong in game 2?
What went wrong in game 2? Okay, where do I start? First off, I'm gonna say Anthony Davis completely took over the game. He dominated the game, Clarence. He was very dominant. He had 31 points. He went 13 of 21 from the field. Anthony Davis was unguardable. Like he showed yesterday why he is universally recognized as a top 5 player in the NBA. He went 3 of 4 from 3-point range, which is 75%. In game 1, he went 0 of 5 from 3-point range. So he did much better in game 2. And he had it going. He had it going because he was getting to the rim at will. Hassan Whiteside is too slow to guard Anthony Davis. And Nurkic is too big. He doesn't have the speed to keep up with Anthony Davis on the perimeter, and Anthony Davis took advantage of the matchup And we really had no answers for Anthony Davis, honestly. He dominated the game.
Oh.
And this is what we've been asking from Anthony Davis, Clarence. This is what we've been asking from him to do more consistently for the Lakers to have a chance. And he did it yesterday in game 2 from opening tap. He was aggressive. He had that look in his eye. Because they was talking about after game 1. Because, you know, in game 1, he only had 28 points, which isn't bad, but he went 8 of 24 shooting from the floor. So he was very inefficient. But after game 1, they asked him in the post-game press conference last night, they said, did LeBron say anything to you? And Anthony Davis responded and said, he didn't say anything to me. He just seen it in my eye when I got to the gym today. He knew. So basically, LeBron didn't even have to say anything to Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis knew what time it was. And the time was for him to dominate. And he did just that last night. He was a plus 32 on the court last night for the Lakers. He also had 11 rebounds and 3 assists. He completely dominated the game. And when he does this and performs at this high of a level, the Lakers can win the NBA championship. I know I picked the Clippers to beat the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, but I'm telling you right now, Clarence, if Anthony Davis plays like this, my Portland Trailblazers will be eliminated in 5 games. And not only that, the Lakers will win the NBA championship. That's it.
What?
But listen, the thing is, are we going to get that consistent domination from Anthony Davis? I say no, because we have those games, Clarence, with AD where he only has like 10 or 11 points. He hasn't consistently dominated since being in the bubble, but last night he was aggressive, and I knew it. I was watching the game, Clarence, and I'm like, he on one tonight. He ready to rock and roll tonight. Did you watch it? You watched the game?
Of course I watched the game, Trey.
Did you see it in his eyes? I saw it. I said,
Yeah.
okay, I see.
Oh, look.
Yes.
I'm going to just tell you this. That Lakers team was just dominant. They were just dominant. And Anthony Davis led the way. He knew in his time, it was his time to shine. Like you said, he needed to play better. And guess what? He didn't even play the fourth quarter because they was up. Let me just break down these numbers to you real quick. Let me break them down. The LA Lakers shot better than Portland Trailblazers. They shot 47% to Portland's 40%. I was surprised that Dame and them was even shooting that bad. And then, let me get on these Portland stats. The 3-point, they shot 8 for 29 with 29%. That's horrible. That's around LeBron and them average how much they shoot from the 3. Let it be realistic. And LeBron and them shot 14 for 38, 36%. They shot better. They was the better team overall in the game. They out-rebounded them. They out-assist them. They caused more turnovers. You see LeBron James actually looked like a passing LeBron. Like his he's showing his abilities that he can pass and let somebody else lead the pack. I said this before. It's time for LeBron to break down and play his true position. Because when you play your true position, you give other players the opportunity to play their part in the team's success. That's just point blank right there. And Anthony Davis was just on fire. I think nobody had no answer for him. And I want to say this because I did tag you in this post yesterday. You did say Melo was the key factor in this playoff. Yesterday, all we seen was Melo 1 for 6 with 2 points. He only took 6
I'm about to
shots.
get to him, but I want to say this real quick. In order for the Portland Trailblazers to be successful, you need a great performance from either CJ McCollum or Damian Lillard. And when that does not happen, the Trailblazers struggle. Yesterday, Damian Lillard, he had 18 points, 6 of 14 shooting from the floor. He went 1 of 7 for 3-point range. CJ McCollum, he only had 13 points. He went 6 of 16 from the floor. He went 1 of 5 from 3-point range. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum combined to go 2 of 12 from 3-point range. In order for the Portland Trailblazers to have any chance at winning this series, they need Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum to hit the perimeter shot at a higher level than just 2 for 12. 2 for 12 is not going to get it done. Also, I thought offensively, this was a performance that the Portland Trailblazers should want to forget. They should want to forget about this performance. You said it. They shot 40% from the field overall as a team, and they went 8 of 29 from 3-point range. They were due for a bad performance on the offensive side of the floor, Clarence. They were due for it. We've been balling out in the bubble. We have the best offensive rating in the bubble, period. It's been Portland. And last night, they were due for a bad performance. Carmelo Anthony, who is the first ballot Hall of Famer, my favorite all-time player. I need more than 2 points from you, bro. 1 for 6 shooting is not going to get it done against Anthony Davis and LeBron James, 2 of the top 5 players we have in the NBA. I need more from you, Melo. Melo was a minus 26 on the floor last night. Melo didn't even. Not only that, Melo got no rebounds last night. I need more from Melo. But overall, what?
I'm gonna let you finish. You said overall.
I think the Portland Trail Blazers as a team offensively didn't play well, Clarence, last night. Don't just put it on Melo. The entire team struggled. They didn't play well. Nurkic, he went 4 of 10 shooting from the floor, and they didn't get any production from Gary Trent. He only dropped 8 points. I think they need to play at a much higher level offensively if they want to have any chance of being able to pull the upset in this series, because you're not going to be able to stop Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is going to get his points. I think you need to try to outscore the Lakers to have a chance of beating them in this series. Even though last night, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, he finally got his 3-point shot going, I still don't trust Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and I don't trust Danny Green, Clarence. I do not. I don't. I think you need – well, we'll get to all that in a minute, but go ahead. What you want to say?
I just want to say this. Like, Danny Green, I think he left that shot, and I think he left his 3-point shot in Toronto, because this is ridiculous. Because in Toronto, he was shooting way better than he is in LA. But you got to think about it. Big shout out to KCP, because he did turn it around. You got to give him some props though. He turned it around from game 1, only scored 1 point, then had 0 for 9 from the floor, 0 for 5 from the 3. But he was better today. He was actually the second leading scorer on the team. 16 point, 5 of 8 shooting, and 4 for 6 on the 3. He was better than game 1. I think he shot the ball better. He was more focused, and he wasn't rushing his game. I think he's starting to realize who they playing.
Yeah.
They playing against a good team that got good guard play in Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. You got a streaky Melo. So I think he's starting to get more comfortable of who he playing up against, because now his defense is probably going to be more of an impact too.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. If I would have told you LeBron James would have only had 10 points yesterday before the game, would you have said the Lakers would have won that game?
So you said if LeBron James had 10 points?
If I would have told you LeBron going to finish the game with 10 points, would you have said that would end in a Lakers win or a Lakers loss?
I think at the same time, when you got another superstar on your team, that can possibly end. It could probably end with a win, though. If
No. The problem yesterday was offensively, the Portland Trail Blazers didn't show up, Clarence. As great as Anthony Davis played, and Anthony Davis dominated that game yesterday. He dominated from start to finish. He was in complete control of that game, and he was the best player on the floor last night.
Listen.
But listen. Real quick. I believe the reason why Portland lost last night is not because they couldn't stop Anthony Davis. They couldn't stop John Morant in the play-in game. They've had multiple other games this year where they couldn't stop the opposing team's best player. They couldn't stop Caris LeVert for the Brooklyn Nets in that matchup. He dropped close to 40 points. Seeing a player go off against the Portland Trail Blazers on the offensive end is not something new. We've had players go off on us before, but to offset that has been the great offensive rating from the Portland Trail Blazers. It didn't happen last night. That's what I'm saying. Do you agree with that or disagree?
Look, but think about it. LeBron James, I was watching the game yesterday, and I seen that the mismatch he had. Gary Trent was on him a couple sessions. Hazonia was, and they would just keep swapping back. Sometimes CJ Dame was not getting a piece of LeBron, not that much, but I seen CJ and Dame guard AD, but for some reason they wasn't guarding LeBron. LeBron wasn't the biggest threat though, but he has another superstar on his team that needed to show up. And believe it or not, LeBron he didn't shoot well yesterday, but I like the way how he got everyone involved. He got AD into a rhythm. He let AD take over the clump of scoring. Then to be honest, Hassan Whiteside cannot guard AD. I don't even think Nurkic can guard AD.
No one on that Portland Trail Blazers team can guard Anthony Davis.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. And I think the advantage they got to let Anthony Davis play his game. If he bringing them out the paint and he's attacking, that's gonna work every time. Damian Lillard's not gonna step in for a charge of CJ. But they're gonna be too big.
Right, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think Portland lost yesterday because offensively they were terrible. They didn't lose because they couldn't get defensive stops. They've had players in the bubble that have went off for over 30 plus already. It happened with Karis LeVert and the Brooklyn Nets. It happened with Ja Morant in the play-in game. Defensively, the Portland Trail Blazers aren't a very good basketball team because they don't have Trevor Ariza. They don't have Rodney Hood, who they lost to a season-ending injury earlier in the season. Therefore, they are trying to outscore their opponent. I think if you put up points on the scoreboard, that can offset a great performance from a player like Anthony Davis. Like Damian Lillard only having 18 points. I know he injured his index finger, but him only having 18 points really hurt the Portland Trail Blazers. Melo only 2 points. I need more from you, bro. And CJ McCollum, I need him to get into his offensive rhythm a little bit earlier in the game. I seen Damian Lillard trying to get CJ going in the third quarter, but the game was already out of reach at that point, Clarence. We were already down by 20 points.
I think the
Portland Trail Blazers need to try to get CJ McCollum involved early and often and try to get him into a rhythm. They ain't going to get his points just in a natural flow of the offense. But I want to say something else real quick. I think Terry Stotts, the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, I think he needs to double Anthony Davis. Make someone else beat you. It can't be AD. It can't be AD. I don't trust KCP. I don't trust Alex Caruso, Dion Waiters, Danny Green. I don't trust their shooters to be able to beat us. I don't think that they can outshoot us in a series, Clarence. I'm putting all the pressure on those shooters. And believe it or not, I'm going to turn LeBron James into a scorer. Let LeBron get his points. I know he can win that one-on-one matchup with Gary Trent, but if I'm the Portland Trail Blazers, I ain't letting Anthony Davis beat me. I'm doubling him every single trip down the floor. So that you say what?
Then the Lakers probably go get another blowout win because if you let LeBron or if you play and LeBron got the disadvantage. If you got someone like Gary Trent guarding you, they can just turn it on from there. He can just drop easily 30 points. Like that's obvious right there. Gary Trent is not slowing down the LeBron.
I think win. If LeBron goes off for 30, it doesn't kill you how Anthony Davis kills you. See, Anthony Davis, you seen what happened last night when he had it going and he was aggressive. It completely changed the entire complexion of the game. I don't think it can kill you if LeBron is dropping 30 and Anthony Davis dropped just 20 points. What I'm saying is Anthony Davis is going to score no matter what. I'm taking my chances, sending the double team his way, making him pass out to those shooters and them missing shots. Do you really trust KCP, Alex Caruso, Dion Waiters, and Danny Green and J.R. Smith to hit shots consistently? Do you trust that?
Look, J.R. Smith is a streaky shooter. KCP is actually a good shooter. And Danny Green is one of the good shooters. The thing is, they just got to pick the slack back up. And would I trust them? Would I trust them to be open? Absolutely, I am. Because they did it in the season, so why not in that playoff?
But they haven't done it in the bubble. They haven't done it in the bubble consistently. They were the worst offensive rating team in the NBA during the bubble play. They've been terrible.
When it comes to shooting threes, though, Trey. When it comes to shooting threes.
No, Clarence, they've been terrible in their overall offense. Since they've been in the bubble, they were the worst offensive team in the bubble.
Listen, think about it. They took a lot of threes in these bubbles. They are trying to work. They're trying to work on a new strength that they're trying to bring. But their biggest strength is working the paint because you got LeBron James and AD that can smother and go good in the paint. They just trying to bring out the shooting aspect of the team. You got to think about it. They got a lot of 3 and Ds on that team. 3 and Ds. So you trying to make the 3-pointer more relevant. Like I don't understand how you don't see that.
I want to give Frank Vogel some credit too. Before we move on to our next question about Terry Stotts, I want to give Frank Vogel some credit because I don't know if you noticed, Clarence. They changed up their defensive coverages on Damian Lillard. They basically made it very hard for him in those pick and rolls. Like Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, Anthony Davis, they were really, really making it hard on Damian Lillard, and they really amped up their defensive pressure. Did you notice that last night? Like Lakers, they showed up defensively last night and they played at a high level. And I was impressed because that's a coaching adjustment. Frank Vogel, I got to give him a ton of credit because he made the necessary adjustments from game 1 to game 2. And that's why I think Damian Lillard took a while to get into his rhythm. And by the time he tried to get into a rhythm, Clarence, the game was already out of reach.
Yeah, that was like you say, yeah, game was out of reach. Damian Lillard hurt his index finger, and that's gonna basically actually probably, in my opinion, hurt the team more because when he left the injury, the team just went down south, and the Lakers had the advantage to play better defense.
So let's go to that. Blazers head coach Terry Stotts received some criticism after Damian Lillard's injury in the third quarter because the Blazers were already trailing by 30. So did you have an issue with Stotts having Lillard in the game at that time?
I think the issue was that when you noticed that he jammed his finger, then you should have been the coach to instantly take him out and get him evaluated. I think he was just in the motion of like the game is going on. It's a very crucial moment, and we can see can he still play through that injury? Because you think about it, AD. It was a scary moment for him when he tweaked his ankle, but then he continued to play, so it wasn't hurting him that bad. So they didn't think he didn't need to come out. But for this situation with Damian Lillard, he had to come out and get more evaluated. He just jammed his finger now. Now he got to play through a whole injury with a messed up index finger.
Yeah, I don't blame Terry Stotts for having Damian Lillard in the game at that moment because we're talking about the Portland Trail Blazers, the team that has been the best on the offensive side of the floor in the bubble. The offensive rating is the best since we've been playing games in the bubble. So I think Terry Stotts, he was trying to see if his team had one more run in them. I wouldn't blame Terry Stotts here. I don't blame him for having Damian Lillard in the game at that moment. I think once he got hurt, if he didn't get injured, I would have said give it another 2 minutes. If not, take him out. Like, you know how the game, I felt the game getting away from us, Clarence, in the third quarter when the Lakers went on their run. Well, actually, they went on a run before halftime. At halftime, they were already up 17 points. It was 56-39 at halftime. So I kind of already felt the game was slipping away. And I felt like if we couldn't go on a run to start the third quarter, get Damian Lillard out of there. But the Lakers went on a run to start the third quarter. And at that moment, before he got injured, I would have said keep him in for another minute or two. If you don't put together a run in those 2 minutes, take him out of the game. But I don't blame Terry Stotts here. He knows his team is a high-scoring basketball team. They can put up a lot of points very fast. You have a first-ballot Hall of Fame scorer, Carmelo Anthony. You have one of the top scoring guards in the NBA, and CJ McCollum. And we know how great Damian Lillard is at the point guard position. He's one of the top 5 guards we have in the league. I think Terry Stotts wanted to see if his team had one more run in them. So I don't blame him for having Damian Lillard in the third quarter down by 30 at that moment. Now, I just can't put all that blame. I can't put that blame on Terry Stotts.
So that goes to the next question. What adjustment does the Portland Trail Blazers need to make for game 3?
2 adjustments. Key. I'm going to get it, telling you real fast. Offensively, you got to hit shots. You have to hit shots, and you have to be able to hit the three-point shot. 8 of 29 from the three-point range is not going to get it done. I need Portland to shoot better from three-point range. I also need, on the defensive side of the floor, I need them to double Anthony Davis. 3 words, double Anthony Davis. Force someone else to beat you. And see if Kyle Kuzma, see if KCP, see if Danny Green, Dion Waiters, Alex Caruso, see if they can hit perimeter shots at a consistent rate. If they hit perimeter shots and they hit the three-point shot at a consistent rate, after they beat us 4 times, Clarence, you walk on the other side to the other side of the floor and you shake their hand and say good luck in the next round. Because that's you have to make a decision. You can't let Anthony Davis go off for 31 points, 31 points and have 13 to 21 shooting from the floor. You can't have it happen. You have to pick your poison. I'm rolling with those other role players and seeing if they can hit consistent shots to get the Lakers to the second round. That's what I'm going to do if I'm a head coach.
Look, all I'm saying is if you double team Anthony Davis, then you're walking into LA's trap. You're literally walking to the trap because you're open. the 3-point shooters more opportunity and looks at the rim to hit the shots.
They haven't been able to hit the shot consistently. How are you walking into their hands?
They didn't have good looks when they was taking the shot. If you think about it.
They had good looks the entire time they've been in the bubble when they was missing.
No, if you really pay attention to like watching them, the passes, they not even taking one dribble. They're instantly looking at the shot, looking at the rim and taking that shot, Trey.
All right. Well, let's move on to our second topic of the day. And let's talk about Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Hold on. Before we move on though, I want to mention Washington football team, Ron Rivera. Yesterday he was diagnosed with squamous cell cancer, and we want to just wish our prayers. The Wise Guys team want to wish our prayers to Ron Rivera, to make a good, transition and his recovery. You know what I'm saying? He still go coach, but if anything go wrong, they got a good plan B. But that's I wanted to mention though for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you there. We've sent our prayers and condolences to Ron Rivera and his family on a speedy recovery here from Wise Guys and the Worldwide Sports Network. Ron Rivera, we know he's had some success as the Carolina Panthers head coach. He helped Cam Newton get to where he's at in his career. He helped Cam Newton win an MVP. He helped Cam Newton get to the Super Bowl. And as far as character-wise, Ron Rivera is one of the best coaches we have in the NFL as far as one of the coaches that you trust and players love to play for, Clarence. So I agree with you. Let's show Ron Rivera some love here on the Wise Guys Sports Show and let him and his family know we wish him nothing but the best moving forward on a speedy recovery.
Definitely.
But let's move on. Go into the next one. Let's go ahead.
All right. So look, we talked the expectations for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now we got 3 bold Bengals predictions for 2020 according to John Breech. Joe Burrow will lead the AFC North in touchdowns and set the rookie record in most touchdowns by a rookie. 2, Joe Mixon lead the.
Who said that? That?
John Breech. John Breech stated that Burrow will lead the AFC North in touchdown passes and set the rookie record. Set the rookie record. And number 2, Joe Mixon, he will lead the AFC in rushing. And number 3, Bengals will have the biggest room improvement in the NFL. I just want to know, Trey, any chance of these 3 go turn out? If these all go come out?
Hell no. None of these are going to turn out to be true. Let's start off with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is not leading the AFC North in touchdown passes when you have Big Ben Roethlisberger, a Super Bowl champion, elite quarterback at one point in his career, throwing the ball for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You also have Lamar Jackson, the reigning NFL MVP in your division. I expect Lamar to also throw for at least 25 to 30 touchdown passes this year, Clarence. I think Harbaugh wants to get Lamar Jackson in more of a rhythm throwing the ball. I think he wants him to become a better passer overall in that pocket. I don't see Joe Burrow having more touchdown passes than any of the other 3 quarterbacks in his division. Also, Baker Mayfield, real quick. Baker Mayfield, he has more weapons to throw the ball to than Joe Burrow does. Baker Mayfield has an elite receiver in Odell Beckham. He has an elite number 2 receiver in Jarvis Landry. He has Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb at the running back spots to throw the ball out to in the flats. And he also brought in Austin Hooper in free agency. And like I said, Big Ben is a veteran quarterback who's proven, who has been elite at one point in his career. And Lamar Jackson is the reigning NFL MVP. I think Joe Burrow will finish last in the AFC North as far as touchdown passes being thrown. Now, let me get to my second one. Hold on real quick. What? I got you. Joe, I got, he'll finish last. He's not going to finish in the top 3 as far as throwing touchdown passes this year. Also, hold on. Say it again.
Even Baker Mayfield go have more touchdowns than him?
Yes. Baker Mayfield will throw more touchdown passes than Joe Burrow. And also, this is another thing you got to keep in mind. Joe Burrow is going to be going up against some elite defenses in the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. Like, they have great front sevens. Like, they linebackers and they defensive linemen up front, they're hard to run against and throw the ball against. They apply pressure to your quarterback. So I don't see Joe Burrow being the leader in touchdown passes in the AFC North at the quarterback position. Now let's get to Joe Mixon. Leads the AFC in rushing. That's the one that's the most likely of these 3 scenarios. I don't see that happening, but I do believe in Joe Mixon. I like Joe Mixon as a running back for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think he's had a nice career so far since he's been in the NFL, Clarence. He's had 17 touchdowns, 108 receptions on his career. He has over 2,900 rushing yards. I like Joe Mixon as a running back, so I'll give you that. He's a top running back in the NFL. I wouldn't say top 5, but I would give Joe Mixon top 10. But the third one, the Bengals having the biggest win improvement in the NFL, that will not happen, my friend. Last year, they finished 2-14 on the season. They had the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. I don't see the Bengals having a significant win increase this year because Joe Burrow is going to be under a lot of pressure being in the AFC North. This is one of the hardest divisions we have in the NFL, Clarence, to win in. You know it, and I know it. I don't think Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals are going to have a significant win increase. I think they'll win maybe 4 or 5 games at the most. That's being nice. They'll go 4-12. Yes, they'll go 4-12 this year. That's being nice. You got the 4, my friend. Yes, I'm being honest. Maybe 5-11, maybe.
I'm just trying to figure out where do I start, man? Because I just feel like I don't think you really mean what you said, man. I just don't think that. Because I think once upon a time you were supporting the Bengals and you wanted them to be good, and now you just like, hey, forget that.
No, here's the thing, Clarence. Here's the thing. I don't support the Bengals, but I do get tired of them having people like you and other family members and friends suffer. I hate that y'all have to suffer, and I hate that y'all have to watch teams like my Packers have playoff success. That's what I hate. I don't like that. But I don't care about the Bengals.
But the Packers ain't winning nothing probably for the next 5 years. I can bet $1,000 on that right now. The Packers.
We just got to the NFC Championship game.
I don't care. They're not going to win nothing in the next 5 years. We can bet on that. But that's for another topic, though. But think about it, though, Trey. Joe Mixon is one of the best running backs in the AFC. They're one of the best running backs in the AFC, the whole AFC. Like, he's one of the best. He's probably top 2 or top 3 in the AFC, man. I think you don't give him a lot of credit because he plays in Cincinnati. But think about it.
Hold on, Clarence. Out of everybody on that team, I actually believe in Joe Mixon the most. I don't believe in Joe Burrow in his rookie year going up against these tough defenses like the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't believe AJ Green can stay healthy throughout the course of a 16-game season. He already injured his hamstring in training camp. But I believe in Joe Mixon's abilities. I really do.
What about Tyler Boyd? You just forget about Tyler Boyd, huh?
Tyler Boyd had a nice season last year, but I don't think Tyler Boyd is a legitimate number 1.
You got to think about it. Since, bro, he's actually the actual leader in slot receiving yards. Like, currently right now, he has the most slot receivers in slot and slot yards and receiving. Come on, man. I just feel like you don't give a lot of this team credit. You don't see what they brought into this offseason. You see how we just revamped the whole defense. Where the defense is great. I think that is a top 15 defense in the NFL. But I think what's likely going to happen is the win improvements. Like, I believe that they are one of a top talent team in the NFL. In my opinion, I think the Bengals got a top 10 talent in the NFL. I hope you listening to me right now. They have a top 10 talent in the top 10 NFL. But I think they're very underrated. They're very underrated. They got a lot of good group of guys that's hungry and they're on top of their games. And our defense, I think our defense is getting nastier each and every day. Hell, we just signed the 3-time Pro Bowler Mike Daniels that played for Green Bay. And we know what he did in Green Bay. He was a beast. And now he's coming to Cincinnati. That's big for us. And I think you're really not paying attention to us because you don't like the Bengals. And I understand that's cool. But people got to understand this. I want to watch Burrow scrimmages by seeing clips. His first drive, he threw 6 straight completions. And well, let me say it like this. He threw an interception. And then after the interception, he threw 6 straight incompletions. He was 6 for 6 on his first 69 yards touchdown pass. That was great. He threw 3 touchdowns overall. Now, after practice, he went to Josh Bynes and asked him, "What did I did wrong when you caught that interception?" That just right there, that just shows you the guy is hungry. He wants to be a winner. He wants Cincinnati to be a winning team. So you're afraid of that. I think you're really afraid.
What am I afraid of? I'm tired of them. I'm tired of them having people like you suffering in the playoffs. I'm tired of them having people like you get your hopes up and think they're gonna finally win the playoff game just to have a meltdown and not come through for you and your personal feelings. I don't want to see you suffering. I don't want to see my family and friends have to suffer in the NFL playoffs. You know this team hasn't won a playoff game, Clarence, since neither one of us been born. Since neither one of us been born, they haven't won a playoff game. And here's the thing. Most people in life, they are close with people who are close to their age. Majority of the people that we know and that we're close to, they haven't witnessed the Bengals win a playoff game in their lifetime. I haven't seen the Bengals win a playoff game yet in my lifetime, and I got a bunch of other Bengal fans, including yourself, who haven't seen the Bengals win one single playoff game. And you got the nerve to say my Packers aren't going to win a Super Bowl or be relevant in the next 5 years, and we fresh off an NFC Championship game appearance? The nerve that you have, my friend. But here's the thing. You said out of all three of these scenarios, the most likely is the Bengals having the biggest win improvement in the NFL, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So they went 2-14 last year. What's going to be their record this year? I'm putting you on spot.
At best, if everything start clicking, at best, I'll say 9-7.
Oh, hell no!
At best.
Are you serious?
9-7, and they can sneak into the playoffs. I can see it. I can see it. You don't spend almost $200 million. You don't spend almost $200 million on the defense and suck again. That's what you don't understand, Trey. And significantly, our defense has been better than your Packers team for years. So,
are you kidding me? You think they're gonna be 9-7 with a rookie quarterback in Joe Burrow and a non-proven? They don't even have a proven head coach in Zach Taylor. The only reason Zach Taylor got the job was because he was a part of Sean McVay's staff with the Rams. This team isn't going 9-7, Clarence. Are you kidding me?
Think about it. Look, all the players that signed to the Bengals, he's the main reason why they signed. They believe in his change that he's trying to bring to Cincinnati. If you honestly been watching the Bengals, he's been changing the culture slowly. He's changing. We get all that playoff dumping trash out the way, and we bringing in a new culture. That's what brought in Von Bell, DJ Reader, Mike Daniels. Even though Geno Atkins was speaking to him a few months back, he gave them the spirit. He gave them the spirit. You can be better. Come to Cincinnati, and that's what you don't understand. And
Let me ask you a question.
And I truly believe what
you said. That at best they'll finish 9-7. So. Is that you picking with your heart or your head?
My heart? No, I'm actually picking with my mind because we have a talented team. That's just me. I'm not even being biased. Nothing. I say 9-7, 9-7 at best. I want you to highlight this. Clarence just said the Bengals will be 9-7 at best. Think about it.
Oh my God, man! Your football IQ is on the line here, sir. It really is. You should be banned from talking football.
I said the key words at best. So if they own their game, I can believe they can get to 9-7 and sneak right into the playoffs. People don't believe it. We went 9-7 with Andy Dalton. So anything is possible. Anything is possible, Trey.
Anything is possible, but it's not possible for your Bengals to go 9-7. That is impossible. That is the true definition of impossible. They're not better than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Last year, do you know the Pittsburgh Steelers were within one game of the playoffs and they had inconsistent quarterback play? The reason why is because they got a great coach in Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is a great NFL coach. I know you Bengal fans like to hear that, Mr. Omar Epps looking like himself, but Mike Tomlin is a great coach. I love Mike Tomlin. I think he's one of the greatest coaches we have in the NFL, and he doesn't get the credit that he should. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are better than your Bengals. I think the Cleveland Browns are a better football team from top to bottom than the Bengals. Yes, I think the Browns got one of the best rosters from top to bottom in the NFL, Clarence. I really do. They just need coaching to put it all together, and I think they got that now.
Your
Kevin
football
Stefanski
is on the line.
No, it's not. Yours is. They got Kevin Stefanski now. They're definitely not better than Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to lose both games this year to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Agree or disagree?
But well, listen to this. Believe it or not, Zach Taylor is a better coach than Kevin Stefanski. So now, what was the question again?
What is he proving?
Well, he helped with the Rams go to the Super Bowl with McVay last year. He was the quarterback coach, and Jared Goff went off in 2018.
Yeah, that was Sean McVay. That wasn't Zach Taylor. What do you mean? Listen, bro. This is you picking with your heart. Listen, say that you making this 9-7 prediction with your heart, because if you say it's with your head, your football IQ is going to be in question. I'm letting you know right now, listeners. Right now, everybody.
I'm telling this is what you're not listening. I said the Bengals can be 9 will go 9-7 at best. If they on their top of their game, you listen, if they're on the top of their game, I can see them winning 9 games at best.
You're trying to have an escape. You're trying to have a way out of your prediction. That's why you keep saying at best. What is their record going to be next year? Give it to me. What's it going to be? Don't give me no at best. What's their record going to be?
Believe it or not, I think they'd be 7-9, 8-8. I'm be honest.
You
with
all over the place.
No, you're not understanding. You're not understanding what I'm saying. At best, if we were just saying, what would the Packers record be at best? Like that means
forget all that. Guess what our record gonna be next year? You want me to tell you what it's gonna be?
What?
We'll be 10-6 next year.
Not down.
We'll be 10-6. Yes, I can give you a definitive answer. I'm not all over the place like you. Give it to me. What's the Bengals record gonna be next year?
I'm telling you, man. If everything goes good, everything goes well, and Burrow's on top of his game, he's a candidate for Rookie of the Year. The Bengals will be 9-7 at best.
Oh man, this guy is hilarious, man. This is the guy that I gotta talk football with, ladies and gentlemen.
All day long, man.
Let's move on and let's stay local here. As Wednesday night, I believe it was Wednesday night, or no, I'm sorry. This was Wednesday night. Wednesday night, Tom Brenneman, a local Reds broadcaster here in Cincinnati, he was suspended for using an anti-gay slur live on air. Tom Brenneman did not seem to realize his mic was on, and he apologized on camera before handing over the play-by-play duties in the Cincinnati Reds against the Royals matchup Wednesday night. So the question here is, Clarence, should Brenneman be fired?
I think so. I think he need to be more evaluated on what he said that he thought he wasn't on air. I believe he deserved every penalty, like every penalty at his job, because not only you said it on air, you saying it like you was having a whole conversation and thought your mic was off, and now everybody caught on to what you said. I didn't know like exactly the right words he said, but in my opinion though, I think so. Believe it or not, because you don't want that energy getting carried into the Reds franchise, and you don't want that energy spreading. So I think you need to get rid of them and get a whole new broadcaster, Trey. That's just me being honest. Now I'm thinking from the heart. Muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm back. My bad. I'm back. But I completely disagree with you. I disagree. Brenneman was wrong here. He was wrong, and he deserves to be suspended for an extended amount of time. I think he deserves to be suspended. But in this situation, when I break the situation down, Clarence, I know he apologized and so forth on air, and I think his apology was sincere. But I think he's only being apologetic because he got caught. A lot of people, a lot of times when they issue these public apologies, they're only apologizing because they got caught. It's just
So
like if you. It's just like if you. I'm sorry.
You don't think he should be fired if he just being apologetic?
I'm gonna get to that. Hold on. I'm saying the reason why he said he apologized. He said, he basically was saying that he doesn't really feel that way, but I disagree. People only apologize because they got caught. If you're in a relationship and someone cheats on someone and they apologize to their partner, you only apologize to me because I caught you. Same thing here. When you say these comments that you said, you only apologizing because it got caught live on air. But I do think his apology was sincere, but I also understand that he's only apologizing because he got caught. Here's the thing we got to keep in mind. We live in America. America is the land of second chances. And I'm all about giving an individual a second chance, especially considering when others around you can vouch for your character. And there are a lot of people, Clarence, locally here in the Cincinnati media. Listen to me, bro. Just understand. Listen to what I'm saying. It's people locally here in the Cincinnati media. I've reached out to them since this situation happened. And they told me that Tom Brennaman is actually an individual that has character. He has great character and he's a great person overall. I'm not going to condemn an individual and make it seem as if they're a terrible person because of one mistake on air. I think this is a person in Tom Brennaman who is a proven broadcaster and has put in a lot of work to get to where he's at in his career. He has he's been in this career for a long time. He's very well known locally here in the Cincinnati area. And there are individuals who speak to what kind of person he is. I think if it's a situation where someone is consistently doing something that is disrespectful or doing something that is wrong, then you fire them. If they're doing something that is always offending people, then they get fired. But if it's one incident, I think his body of work should speak for itself, and I think Brennaman should get a second chance.
But I think it's a lot of double standards in what you said, though, because the lady, her name Jamila, I think Jamila, she worked for ESPN. She made one incident, and boom, she got fired. And that right there, that just shows you that they didn't value her characteristics, like you said, and her like body of work that she did put on. But I think for this type of situation, you have to make the right decision. You have to do what's best. Do what's best for the company. And he is a well-deserved broadcaster, but at the same time, how many times he not gonna continue it? You know? Imagine if this happened again. We go run back to this and say, you said he deserved a second chance and he went on again. I just feel like me personally, I just feel like that you need to get rid of it. You need to get rid of the problem so it never can happen again. That's just me.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm of the belief this is America. This is the land of second chances. We give individuals second chances. There are people that get locked up in society, Clarence, and they make mistakes. They get out of jail and they are better individuals in society because they learned their lesson. I think he should be suspended for an extended amount of time. I don't think we should be hearing him call any play-by-play for a very long time for the Cincinnati Reds. And again, he went on air and he apologized live. Although I think the only reason he apologized is because he got caught. I'm not going to sit up here and act like his apology wasn't sincere. It seemed very sincere to me. And he did it live on air. It ain't like he had had time to go and write a speech, an apology speech, and put it together. No, he did it live on air and admitted to his mistake. Right. He was wrong here. He deserves to be suspended. But to have him and to have his whole entire career that he's worked for be taken away from him, I think it's wrong in a situation like this. I think he deserves a second chance to be able to show what kind of person he is, and his character should go on, and we'll see what happens. But I just look at what do people say about you when things like this happen, and a lot of people in the local Cincinnati media, Clarence, they have said Brennaman is a very high character individual, and he is, a great person overall. So I'm not going to sit up here and act like what he did should cause him to lose his entire career he's worked so hard for.
Yeah, I just don't agree with that. I just think, man, that type of problem, you have to, get rid of it and taken care of, so it won't ever happen again. That's just my last comments on it, man.
Let's move on to the next topic. What's the next topic?
There's definitely we're gonna be talking about that Steph Curry feeling disrespected by Kenny Smith. Woo! So earlier this week, Steph Curry went on Twitter and called out Kenny Smith for thinking Damian Lillard has better long range. So, sir, keep your mind reading this to quote.
Yeah, basically, what happened was Kenny Smith was on NBA on TNT, and they were showing Damian Lillard's highlights, and Kenny Smith said, "I don't know if you can shoot that range, Steph. I don't know if you can shoot that range. You got to show me next year." And then Steph Curry went on Twitter and he said that I love NBA on TNT, but Kenny the Jet Smith, you tripping here. That's basically what was said.
But is he really though? Is he really though? And I'm gonna just say this though, Trey. The question will be: should Steph feel disrespected? I think Steph should feel. He should feel like your competition is really on you. Like you made the wave of shooting the threes, but Dame, I ain't gonna lie, Dame Dollar took it to a whole nother level, man. And let me read you these numbers real quick. Before the NBA bubble, Dame Dollar was ranked second with 77 made deep threes over the season. And the person that's in front of him is Trae Young with 80, with 3 more than him. But think about it though. He's first in 3-point percentage from deep, 37%. That's was currently the best in the NBA. And he was fourth in 3-point percentage pull-ups. Like that's 73% right there. This guy is ferocious. He's ferocious in the deep range, Trey. And I think, look, and I'm putting my IQ on the line again because I'm saying it. I believe that Damian Lillard is a better deep ball shooter than Steph Curry.
I think so.
I think so because after like I'm just go this back in 2014 when against the Portland Trailblazers, the Portland Trailblazers and Houston Rockets. Damian Lillard said Terry Stotts wasn't comfortable. He wasn't comfortable for him shooting the three because he wasn't confident in Damian, but he seen Dame start practicing on that and start utilizing them more. And let's go back to 2016. Remember, he hit that big three on Paul George, right? And Paul George stated it was a bad shot, correct? Remember?
Yeah.
You remember he said
yeah.
Shot?
Yeah.
But if you really think about it, it was a good shot for Dame. He had open. He basically seen the rim and he had enough space to get the shot off. It was a good shot. And honestly, it was bad defense from Paul George because he gave him well space to do the step back and get a well look at the rim. So that was a good shot on Dame. But all I'm saying is Damian Lillard is like dangerous from 30 feet above. And the numbers has been increasing that players been shooting 30, 20, 26 or more feet from the three. It's increasing this year. Actually, it's like 33%, 26% from the deep range. Like it's increasing. And Damian Lillard is going crazy. He's going crazy with the deep range. And I think utilizing it more because no one's not about to go out there and try to put a hand out there. He's very dangerous in the deep range, Trey.
Right, but I'm not going to say that Damian Lillard shoots the deep three better than Steph Curry just yet. I got to see what Steph Curry does next year. I think we are in a day and age where we got a short-term memory and we only remember what we've saw recently. And right now, since Damian Lillard's been in the bubble, he's been balling out for the Portland Trailblazers. He ended up winning NBA bubble MVP. But I'm not ready to say he can shoot at a longer distance than Steph Curry just yet. I do think Damian Lillard and Steph Curry have similar play styles. I do believe that if Damian Lillard was in that Warriors system, I think Damian Lillard would have similar success like Steph Curry. But I think that Steph Curry next year is going to prove why he is universally recognized as the greatest shooter in NBA history. You got to remember, Steph Curry, we're talking about a 24-point per game score on 44% shooting from three-point range, and he actually shoots 48% from the field overall. We know Steph Curry is a 3-time NBA champion, 2-time Finals MVP. Steph Curry changed the NBA. He completely changed the NBA. I know we talk about. I'm sorry.
Nobody's not questioning that at all, Trey. Nobody's not questioning that.
I'm not saying we are. I'm just breaking it down. I know we talk about LeBron James being one of the greatest players of all time. He's one of those players that's built like magic, but also can score the basketball at a high level. But he's a great passer. We talk about the great scoring abilities from MJ and Kobe, the domination that Shaquille O'Neal put on display throughout the course of his career, the consistent great play we got from Tim Duncan at the power forward spot. We talk about Kareem as dominant as he was in his prime, in his day. It's so many great players. But Steph Curry changed the way the game is played in the NBA now because Steph Curry spreaded the floor. He made you have to extend your defense. When he crosses half court, he is a legitimate threat. I think Steph Curry sometimes is disrespected because he's only 6'4". He's only 6'4", Clarence. And I think sometimes people forget what kind of player Steph Curry is because he's not a 6'8" player like a LeBron James. He's not a great, scoring machine like Kevin Durant, who's 7 feet. Kevin Durant's almost 7 feet with a handle. He can get to anywhere he wants on the court and score at a high level. He's not 6'6" like Jordan. You know what I mean? I think sometimes Steph Curry, he's disrespected because he is someone when youngsters are looking up to these NBA players, he is someone that people look up to and say, damn, if I was in the gym like Steph, I could shoot like he can. He's not doing anything that I can't physically do myself. I think that's the part of the reason why we disrespect Steph Curry. I'm not saying I do. I'm talking about NBA fans as in general. Like, you can't be 6'8" and be a LeBron James. You can't be skillful as an offensive player like Michael Jordan, and Kobe Bryant. You can't be that. You can't teach 6'6". You can't teach Kevin Durant being close to 7 feet tall with a handle. But I think people think that you can be a Steph Curry if you get in the gym and just work hard and shoot jump shots. I think sometimes that's why Steph Curry feels the disrespect that he feels.
But think about it, though.
By the way. He's 6'3", by the way.
So I'm about to bring up this other number, this impressive statistic. Since 2013 and 14, that's what Steph Curry and Damian Lillard, they was walking into their prime. This is the list of most prolific deep point shooters. And that in 2013 and 14, Damian Lillard was ranked first for most deep threes in the game, and Steph Curry was ranked third. So that was very impressive too. That's telling me Damian Lillard was more of a better deep three ball shooter than Steph. Steph was just a consistent 3-point shooter. But Dame, what?
Let me ask you a question. Do you agree with me that if Damian Lillard was in that Warriors system, that he would put up similar statistical numbers like Steph Curry?
Yeah, probably numbers, but not accolades. Like I think that he would put up the similar numbers as Steph doing in Golden State, but accolades and winning NBA championship, that right there probably would have been debatable. Would have been more debatable.
I disagree. I think Damian Lillard would have put up similar accomplishments as Steph Curry has in Golden State. Because Steph Curry, there's moments in the finals Steph Curry disappears. He hasn't even won a finals MVP so far in his career, Clarence. He hasn't.
Damian Lillard, believe it or not, he had on and off games in the playoffs. He got swept before. He got beaten in 5. He went to game 7 against teams, though, but he didn't show up. His other guy, CJ McCollum, did. So we see Damian Lillard got ghost in some playoff games. But for Steph Curry, what he did at the time he was coming up, he evolved the game of shooting the ball, like shooting the three. He made it made it relevant that other people start picking it up and start putting it into their game. And I believe that's what Damian Lillard did. I believe Damian Lillard rolled the wave of being successful shooting the ball, and he took it to a whole nother level. Now he's shooting deep, like at least 26 away from the rim. And believe it or not, he has he has, like, right now in this bubble, he has the highest percentage from deep threes. I think that's like what, 50% right there. I think it's 50%, Trey. That's impressive. I'm just saying,
I agree.
Steph is a good shooter. He's a great shooter. Dame is a great shooter. But in some aspects, Damian Lillard got Steph. He got Steph. And I can admit
that will be an ongoing conversation for shows to come. We'll debate about that more. Let's talk about the Patriots and Bill Belichick. We're going to label this segment Bill Belichick experiments. Bill Belichick is not ruling out the idea of having all three quarterbacks play. That's Cam Newton, Brian Hoyer, and Jarrett Stidham. This is Bill Belichick. Quote, I'll do what I think is best for the team. What gives us the best chance to win. I would definitely consider it. Would it be a good or bad idea to use this strategy, to have all three quarterbacks playing? Good or bad idea?
I think it's a bad idea, Trey. Me personally, I think it's a bad idea because the simple fact, you got two quarterbacks that's fighting for a starting spot in Jarrett Stidham and Cam Newton. And for the other quarterback, I forgot his name. I think it's Morgan. He's not proven yet. And I ain't seen heard so much about James Morgan. That's his name, James Morgan. Like, I ain't seen so much stuff about him yet, and I don't think they gonna put him well in the mix. I think he's still gonna be in the learning aspect of being a quarterback. But the spotlight is on Cam Newton and Jarrett Stidham. We want Cam Newton to be the starting quarterback, and we want that. We want that. We, in all honesty, me and you know, Cam Newton, it should be starting without a doubt. But to make it a competition and bring in three quarterbacks, it doesn't make no sense because you have other needs that you need to fill. Remember, they have a lot of players opt out of the season for the pandemic and personal reason. I think you should worry about that more because you already solidified your quarterback spot with Cam Newton. If you're taking a bet on him, so if he's healthy in the way he is, like that's a hit right there. It's a hit.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell Bill Belichick is talking about here, Clarence.
Yeah.
I love Bill Belichick. We know Bill Belichick is a 6-time Super Bowl champion coach. Right. You know, he's a great coach. I think arguably he's the greatest coach in NFL history as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know what he's talking about here. Let me give you some of these numbers on these Patriots quarterbacks. And total starts. Jarrett Stidham, he has none. He has no starts. he has 15 snaps, and his QBR is 0.1. Let's get to Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer has 38 starts in his career. He has 2,701 career snaps as a quarterback. He has a 42.7 QBR. Let's get to Cam Newton. Cam Newton has 124 career starts, 7,840 career snaps at the quarterback position. That's a 55.1 QBR. And we haven't even gotten to his statistical numbers. Statistically, he has 182 career touchdown passes. You know, he was the offensive player of the year in 2015, won an NFL MVP in 2016, been to an NFL Super Bowl, carried that Carolina Panthers team on his back to the Super Bowl, Clarence. They had no business being in the Super Bowl, but they got there because of Cameron Newton. I don't know what the hell Bill Belichick is talking about here. Cam Newton should be his day one starter, and it shouldn't even be a debate. Brian Hoyer, he can't shine Cam Newton's shoes on his best day. Okay? Like Jarrett Stidham, the only reason Jarrett Stidham is getting the love he's getting is because he's been in that Patriots system. Miss me with all this Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer noise. Cam Newton is the guy for the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick should know this.
So let me ask you this. Is it more pressure on Cam Newton or Bill Belichick?
This season?
Yeah. For this season, yeah.
I would say the more pressure is on Cam Newton because most people have wrote Cam Newton off. They think Cam Newton is done. They think he's injury prone. They don't think he can play an entire 16 games. You know, so they have wrote him off because of his injury issues that happened in Carolina. And I told you, I hate the way the Carolina Panthers treated Cam Newton because Cam Newton, he put in so much work and he was so dedicated to that organization, Clarence. It was times where Cam Newton shouldn't have even been playing, but he played because he wanted to do everything in his power to help the Carolina Panthers win football games. He literally bled that baby blue and white. He did. And that black. He loved the Carolina Panthers, but they didn't love him back. I think that is more pressure on Cam because if he doesn't perform well this season, people are going to say he doesn't have anything left in the tank, and they're not going to want to sign him in future seasons to come. I think Bill Belichick, he's a 6-time NFL Super Bowl champion coach. He's won Super Bowls. He's the man with the New England Patriots. He's the man in New England. So I don't think he's going anywhere no time soon. Therefore, I think there's more pressure on Cam Newton because I think Cam Newton's career could really, really go downhill if he doesn't play well with the Patriots this year.
I disagree with you on that, man. I think the more pressure is on Bill Belichick because, one, Tom Brady left. Let's not forget about that. Tom Brady left them for 20 years and went to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they were still favored to win 9 games and at least make the playoffs, all because of him. And second, like you signed Cam Newton, and that's like a hit or miss right there. That's a low risk, high risk, high reward right there. I mean, and another one, you have like 8 players opt out of the season. Most of them was on defense. How you go try to utilize all your defense and your best players is not there. I think there's a lot of pressure on him. Regardless, he's a good coach, Trey. I think when it all come down to like talent-wise, he gonna need to evaluate that more in order for them to win games in this season. Remember, they got 5 primetime games against the top teams, like the Chiefs and the Ravens. They need to get it together and know who they about to play because coaching can go so far. It can go so far. But if you don't have the talent to back it up, if you go come to a dead end.
A few more minutes before we get out of here. Let's hit some of these quick hitters. Rockets beat the Thunder last night, 111-98, and they're up 2-0 in the first round series. What do the Thunder have to do to get back into the series?
Chris Paul has to play better, and like right then and there. He has to play better. 2 assists, really, and you're CP3. You're considered one of the best point guards in all time. Yeah, he has to play better. You mentioned big shout out to him because he helped carry that team throughout the season, and now they're in the playoff. You got to do the same thing in the playoffs, man. You're down 2-0. People had them beating the Rockies in 6 games. But I told people, James Harden is more talented than Chris Paul when it comes to playoffs. When it does come to playoffs, he is more talented than Chris Paul. And I think in order for them to get back in the series, Chris Paul had to lead them.
I disagree about.
What about you?
I disagree about James Harden being better in the playoffs than Chris Paul. I disagree about that. But I will say yesterday, I was completely shocked that the Houston Rockets won a basketball game by double digits, and James Harden only had 21 points. He shot 5 of 16 from the field, and he went, 2 of 11 from three-point range? He didn't play very well as far as shooting-wise, but he had 9 assists. So let's give James Harden some credit. He didn't hit the shot necessarily well yesterday, but he distributed the basketball to other players. House, he had a nice game, 19 points. I think Jeff Green contributed 15 points yesterday. So I want to give James Harden some credit because not only did he perform well as far as being able to distribute the basketball, but he did a good job knowing my shot's not falling tonight. Let me get these other guys involved in the offense. So I agree with you about Chris Paul. 2 assists isn't going to get it done. I never thought I would see the day, Clarence, where in a key pivotal playoff game, Chris Paul would only have 2 assists. Never thought I'd see it coming. Who wins game 3 Saturday night?
Oh, I got the Rockets winning again. And I truly believe if they continue playing this small ball and everybody and James Harden getting more involved, I think it'll be another blowout.
I got the Thunder still in game 3. Thunder gonna make this a series. But let's move on real quick. Let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks and the Clippers. Do you think the Mavericks can upset the Clippers? Because many people believe the Mavericks should be up 2-0. Do you think the Mavericks can upset the Clippers?
They got a small percentage. I don't think they can upset them because they're very sloppy on defense, but they are one of the highest offensive teams in the bubble. And I think the only chance they upset them is you got to keep letting Chris Porzingis and Luka play their game, and they have to be on top of their game in order to beat them.
Yeah, I also need better performances from Paul George. Paul George was awful. He was awful in game 2, Clarence. He was terrible. He did a great job in game 1, but playoff P, I need more from you. I picked the Clippers to win the NBA championship.
Exactly.
Yes, I picked the Clippers to win the championship. In order for that to happen, you need playoff P to show up and play well for the Clippers. I think in game 2, Kawhi Leonard dropped 35 points, 10 rebounds. Kawhi did his job. Paul George, I need you to do more for Doc Rivers and the Los Angeles Clippers. If the Clippers are going to have any chance of winning a championship this year, they need Paul George to play like a superstar. He's capable of doing it. He's capable of doing it, Clarence. I need more from playoff P.
So So let me ask you this: for tonight's game, what adjustments do Doc Rivers need to order they regain control of the series?
I think Doc Rivers need to try to force the ball out of Luka's hands. Get it to those other guys and make them beat you. Like, don't let Luka beat you. Luka can beat you. Obviously, in game 2, he had 28 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Luka controls everything. Stop letting him control everything. You have to make those other players on that team beat you. Make Tim Hardaway hit consistent perimeter shots to beat you. Make Seth Curry hit perimeter shots to beat you. We know he's capable of doing it. That's Steph Curry's brother. He can do it. But make him consistently do it to beat you in a series. I think you need to try to force someone other than Porzingis and Luka to beat you if you're Doc Rivers in the Los Angeles Clippers.
So who wins game 3 tonight? And why?
That game actually is next. I got the Clippers winning game 3. They're going to bounce back and take a 2-1 lead over Luka and the Mavericks. I got Clippers. I'm going to give you a score. I say Clippers 115, Mavericks 100.
Oh, so they beat them by 15 points. Paul George back a horrible game too.
Who you got winning tonight?
I got the Clippers winning tonight. I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a tough physical game because both of these teams have one game apiece, and game 3 is gonna be a real tough one right there. But I got the Clippers coming up, and I'll give you a quick prediction: 100 to 96. Clippers.
Okay, 196. You got a close game. This series actually, Clarence, is going to go the distance. I had Clippers in 5. I think you might have told me, but I think this series now probably gonna go 6 games. I can see it happen. Yeah, but
LA in 6.
Just to give everyone an update real quick, the Boston Celtics have beaten Joel Embiid and the Sixers 102-94. So they take the Celtics take a commanding 3-0 lead over the Philadelphia 76ers. Kemba Walker had 24 points. Joel Embiid did show up. He had 30 points, but he only went 7 of 20 from the field overall. But he went 14 of 16 from the free throw line. No, that's not horrible. That's not horrible. But
the shot chart, it was horrible.
7 of 20 is not great, but he was active. I like seeing Joel Embiid be active. Real quick, last question of the week: is Brett Brown in trouble?
Of course he is. He's a terrible coach. I think right now, after Philly gets sweet, they need to do some evaluation on who needs to go. The duos of Joel Embiid or Brett Brown. Brett Brown has made decisions that we didn't feel comfortable with. Like, at times he didn't put Embiid in, and at times you didn't play Embiid to his full strength. It's like you ain't really confident in Embiid. I think he needs to go, man. He got to go.
Yes, he's had some questionable decisions as head coach for the Philadelphia 76ers. And game two, the Sixers got out to a nice lead in the first quarter. Joel Embiid was dominant, and then they just went away from him. They just completely went away from Joel Embiid. And you know Joel Embiid is your best player. You need to get him the basketball right now and let him work in the paint. I think Brett Brown, his coaching decisions that he has made has been very questionable, to say the least. I don't think he's a terrible coach, though. You say he's terrible. I wouldn't say he's terrible, but I think he has to improve. But I think it's going to be a little bit too late because I think the Philadelphia 76ers and that organization, they're ready to move on from Brett Brown and bring in a proven head coach that can make Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons coexist, Clarence.
I just don't understand, real quick. I just don't understand how you had Joel Embiid scoring enough and then you take his flow away from him. It was ridiculous, Trey.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's unbelievable. But do you believe Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons can coexist?
No, I don't think so. I think this is the last time that they're going to be playing together because I've been hearing multiple reports that the Chicago Bulls and Cleveland Cavaliers are willing to offer their lottery pick to the 76. And I think, honestly, that's a good idea. A good idea so you can start over and invest. If Joel Embiid is still your franchise quarterback, you have to give him something, compare him with somebody that's willing to feed him the ball and score when needed.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons can coexist either. I think you need to build around Joel Embiid, though. I think Joel Embiid has a higher upside than Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons still can't shoot. He can't shoot. And I think a part of the reason why Ben Simmons isn't working to improve his jump shot is because Brett Brown isn't forcing him, Clarence. And that's a part of coaching. That's a part of coaching. As a coach, you need to be able to get the best out of your players. And clearly, the Philadelphia 76ers, that team has lost respect for their head coach and Brett Brown. I think Brett Brown is a great individual, and I think he knows his basketball. He's probably forgotten more basketball than I know, but I think he's not the coach for this team.
Right.
And I think Elton Brand, the general manager for the Philadelphia 76ers, and that Sixers organization, they will be relieving Brett Brown of his duties in the offseason. And I think the Philadelphia 76ers are going to be on the coaching search in the offseason because they need somebody that can come in there, demand Joel Embiid to stay in shape because he needs to play at a high level for them to have a chance to be able to win basketball games.
I agree, man. I definitely agree.
But Clarence, you got to get out of here, bro. Any big plans this weekend?
Oh, no, man. I ain't doing nothing. I'm back in the lab this weekend. So, I'm back in there watching NBA games. So, I'm back in the lab. What about you?
Chilling out, watching some basketball. I'm predicting right now my Portland Trail Blazers will win Game 3. It's on record.
I got LeBron and them winning a commanding 3-1 to the Portland Trail Blazers. And then another blowout.
It'll be 2-1. It'll be 2-1. Yeah. But anyways, everybody have a great weekend. Remember, follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. I'm Trey Larkins. That's Clarence Nixon. We signing off the Worldwide Sports Network. Have a good weekend.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.